Hello soulmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you are new to this channel you are highly welcome. In today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew this gorgeous gown showing right now on your screen. The inspiration is the one by the left while my outcome is the one by the right. So I drafted the pattern of the upper part, and for the lower part I used a free hand to cut the lower part. So this is the outcome after sewing, and after beading this is what the upper part looks like after beading it, and this is the fitting on my client. So if this is a tutorial you're interested in, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get right into the tutorial. So guys, for this outfit you will need a crepe fabric or any fabric of your choice, and for the lining I'm using a suit lining. You can actually use any lining of your choice too, but I use suit lining. So the crepe is 2 yards, the lining is 1.5 yards. So you need a zipper, and for the beads, so these are the beads I used. So these beads are of different sizes and different designs, so I did not use all of these, but I'm just showing you everything I brought out to use. So now the fabric I used was crepe, which was 2 yards, and the suit lining, which was 1.5 yards. You will also need an interfacing for the upper part, which I'll be showing you when I'm cutting the fabric. So now let's start with the pattern drafting of the upper part. So guys, I'm placing my tape on this for you to see. So that's my upper bust, my armhole, my bust, my under bust, and my waist. So I will still label this line and you will see all the lines. So this is the shoulder. So this next line is my chest line or the upper bust, and this is the armhole line. So this is the bust line, this is the under bust line, and this is the waistline or the half length. So my half length that I'm working with is 16.5. So now at the bust area, now you measure your nipple to nipple, that's your bust span divided by 2. So my bust span is about 7.5, so 7.5 divided by 2, that was what I measured there, and I will really line from the bust to the waist. So at the bust area I went down by about 3/4 inches, and I just wrote a short line at that part. So at the under bust here I went in by 1 inch, and at this smaller part half inch. At the waist area also I did 1 inch, and at the smaller part I also took half inch. So you just connect it like this. So if you know how to draw a bustier, so that's what we are trying to draw. So now I'll connect this under bust to the bust area. So I went ahead to connect this, and after connecting I noticed I went inward a little bit by 1/4 inch at this side. As you can see that there's 2 lines there, so I just reshaped this under bust to waist area very well. So now I took out 1¼ inches here instead of the 1 inch I took out initially. So that's 1¼ inch there. So now the next thing I will do is to connect this part like this. See the way I did it. Then I will extend this line upward. So that line I will extend it upward. So you will extend that line to your chest line. So just extend it like that upward to your chest line. So let's go ahead and take all the other measurements. So I'm working with a bust of about 36 inches. So that's divided by 4. You mark it at the bust area, and at the waist area you measure your waist divided by 4. So what you took out there you add it back, what you took out at the waist area you add it back, then you just connect this point together. So this line should get to the armhole line, like you should connect it, it should extend to the armhole. So now for the side, the darts at the bust area, so the difference between my front half length and my back half length is 1 inch. That is, the front is 16 inches and the back is, the front is 16.5 and the back is 15.5. So the difference is just 1 inch. That was why I went down by 1 inch at this bust area for the darts. So this is the first time of making this kind of design at the front, so I will take this process slow so that you can follow what I'm doing. So the first thing I did now is to measure 5.5 inches from my shoulder downward. So that 5.5 inches is just like 1 inches above your chest line. So whatever your chest line is, you can just go 1 inches above it. So this is what I use at first. So I would advise you watch this video till the end so that you can understand everything I did. So I drew this line at that point, that is 1 inches above my chest line. So let me extend this line here to meet that line. Then I will also take 1 inch for the for the tightening at this upper part here. So I'm taking 1 inch to the 1 inch to this side, this armhole side. So I'm taking 1 inch there, and I will reshape. So I will reshape this to my bust area, just like we always do for bustiers. So that was what I did. So I did not connect that line to reach the upper line. So I'll fold this in like this before I draw the shape, because if I just draw this shape, it will not be accurate. So I have to fold in that dart, then I'll draw this shape. But this, at this armhole side, so you go down by 1 inch. So that's where the bustier will be starting from. Is below the armhole. Less is just 1 inch below the armhole. So you fold your pattern paper like this, fold it like this. Make sure you take in the darts at this point. Make sure you are taking in all the darts, and you know that this curve we end at the this armhole side is 1 inch below. That's where the curve will end. So you connect this curve in such a way that it will pass through all these points. So at first I use my French curve to draw this line. I used the French curve to draw this line at first, but I later corrected this. That's why I said you should just keep watching so that you can see all the corrections I later made. So using this marker and this to roll this, I noticed this is not giving what it should give. So what I did was to extend this line. I will extend this part upward a bit. So I extended this part by 1 inch upward. Then I will make sure this is giving that V shape at the front. So it's not like a U or an N shape. It should give this V kind of shape. So I place the French curve again like that, just to get that line. But I was certain about this line at this armhole side, but this one at the center front, the line at the side is quite okay, but the center front is not okay at all. So I will reshape. So what I just did was to rule a straight line. Just as you can see, I just made it straight, not curved again. I just placed the French curve like this, then I just roll this. I hope you are following what I'm doing. Please just follow this. So with this now, I'm sure that this will be I. So I'm also checking the inspiration to see if I'm on the right track. So I just decided to use the V Ultra like this. So from the 1 inch below the armhole line, so I just used a French curve. As you can see, the straight part of the French curve to just connect this. So let me just use a marker to just do this. So I feel this is more easier. So this is what it looks like right now. So I think we are done with this side. So I'll use my marker to just draw out all these lines here, so we can know which line we are cutting away and which one we are leaving. So now this is what the bustier looks like. This is what the bustier looks like. So the next thing I will do now is to cut this, and after cutting I will tape in the side darts on my pattern. If you haven't liked this video at this point, please guys, like this video. Please like this video. Thank you. So now for this side here, you just place it on each other, then you can use your tape. I'm using a pin, so I used my pin to just hold it down. The SS is just to make sure you close up that dart there. So now this is what the front bustier looks like. So we can just label this as the center front CF and the side front SF. So let's move to the back bodice. So this is my back bodice. This is the pattern. So the half length for my back is 15.5. You know, I said the front is 16.5, so the back is 1 inch shorter. So now, you know, we went down by about 1 inch at the armhole for the front, so you also go down at the side also. So let me label this. This is my shoulder, this is my armhole, and this is my waist. So I've marked a point below the armhole. I will still go over that. So now let's measure our busts and all that. So this side here, before I forget, this is my zipper allowance. So I'll measure my bust divided by 4 at this armhole area, and I will measure my waist also. So my bust divided by 4, please always measure the bust after the zipper allowance. Then at the waist area, the waist divided by 4, then you had 1 inch for that. So I want to prevent zip bulging, so I'll take half inch away here and I will replace it here. So that's the secret of that flat zipper that you saw on the dress that laid very flat. So when you do all this, it will make your zipper lay flat. So I took out half inch at this part, but I added this back at the waist area. I went down by about 1 inch from this armhole at the front. So I am also doing the same at the back here. So the 1 inch, I'll just rule a new line. So this is where the back line will be starting from. So it will be 1 inch below the armhole line. So if you remember, for the front at the side, we went down by 1 inch. So for this to align with the front, that's why we have to take the 1 inch also. So now to locate the dart, you measure your zipper allowance first, then you measure your bust span divided by 2. So my bust span divided by 2 is almost 3.5 inches, and the zipper allowance is 1 inch. So you just measure 4.5 inches from that part, then you just draw the line, just the regular way of drawing the darts rather. So make sure you do the dart legs. So you half inch to the right and half inch to the left. So the dart intake is just 1 inch at this back. So now I'll go ahead and cut this, and I don't want the darts to show at the back. If you look at the back, there was no darts, like from the fitting video, like that clip you saw, there was no darts. I didn't take any darts at the back. This is because I closed up all the darts for the upper bodies and for the skirts part. So I'll label this up and down because it can be looking so funny, and I'll also label this side back, actually should be SB and CB. I made mistake of that F there. So now when you place this your pattern, so this should align with this one. They should be on the same length. If they are not on the same length, it will be best you correct that before you move forward. So the side for both the front and the back, you place them side by side. If they are not on the same line, correct the pattern before you move forward. So this is my fabric, and I'll be cutting the skirt directly on the fabric. So now this first line you are seeing here is my waistline. So you measure your waist divided by 4, then you add your sewing allowance and your dart allowance. My sewing allowance is 1.5, dart allowance is 1 inch. So at this line, which is my hip line, you measure your hip divided by 4 and your sewing allowance alone. So this line you are seeing right here is 6 inches above my knee length. So the knee length is 41. So when I went up by 6 inches, that's 35 inches. So you connect this together, that is the waist to the hip. And what I measured on this line below the hip line is just the same thing I measured on the hip. So for me to achieve that pencil effect, I like to first draw the skirt bodies first, then I will now take out the allowance I want to take out for the pencil skirt. So I will keep measuring what I have at this hip area, that is the hip divided by 4 and the sewing allowance. We are cutting the fabric directly, so we are adding the sewing allowance directly also. So if you look at the end of this skirt, I added, I think, about 1 inch for the hemming allowance. I added 1 inch, and the length of this is very long. I think I'm working with 65 inches length. So I went down by 4 inches at the hip line. Then I'll be taking half inch from that point, and from the other line I'll be taking 1 inch. So I will show you what I'm doing very soon. Like, I will explain again. So at that 4 inches that I went down at the hip area, I took out half inch at the side, but at the line below that line, I did 1 inch, and I extended that 1 inch downward till the end of the skirt. So this is what the skirt looks like after cutting. So the waist should be your half length. I'm working with 16.5 inches half length, so you should place your tape at 16.5 inches. Then you just hold it down till the length you are working with
Sure you get, it will not, your tape will not start from 1 inch, it will start from your half
So for
length.
the dart at this part here, so you measure your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, that's your bust span. Then you take half inch to the right, half inch to the left. So I just like to notch this point, so when I want to measure the dart, I'll just fold and I will measure it. So now this is the front and this is the back. So I went ahead to also use the front to cut the back, and the difference between the back and the front is this zipper allowance at the back. But what I'm doing to this back is that I'm cutting the dart away at the zipper allowance side for the back. So the for the back here, I'm cutting out the zipper the darts away at this zipper allowance side, because I don't want to make a dart at the back, because I want to prevent zip bulging. So I want to use the darts that I'm cutting away to prevent that. And the at the butt area also, I went down by 4 inches, then I also took out half inch away, so that's what I'm cutting out. So if you want a detailed tutorial of how to achieve this, I have a video, so you can just let me know in the comment section and I will send you the link to you. So I'll just go ahead and cut this downward. All this I'm doing is just to make the back side look perfect. So this is what I did. So for the back right now, since I've cut out the dart, I'm not taking any dart, I'm not doing any dart intake at the back, so I'll only do for the front. So now the next thing I want to do is to locate where my slit will start from. So my knee length is, I think, 41 inches. So I went up by 6 inches. You know, I explained that when I was cutting the front. So that's the line over there. So I will just extend this line at the back. So at your knee length, just go up by 6 inches. So that's where your slit should start from. So now this is the front. I went ahead to cut the lining. I added interfacing to the fabric, that is the main fabric, and also the lining. But for the back, I added interfacing to the upper part of the lining, not the entire part. You can add to the entire part, but I just added to the upper part. So this is the front. So I cut out the front, and the lining of the front is the same as the fabric. So I'm using the same fabric for the lining at the front, and I also added interfacing to this. So I'm not padding this. I did not pad the dress at all. So this was just what I did, and it came out perfect. So I added more to the main fabric, which I'll be showing you as we move forward. So I doubled the stay for the main fabric, that is the main bodies. You know, there's lining and there's the main bodies. So for the main bodies, I doubled the facing that I use, that is the interfacing that I use. But for the lining, I just use a single layer. But for the front, I doubled it. So if you want to see how I did that, I will also show that as we proceed in this video. So now I'm pinning them together so that when I want to join, I will just go ahead and join. So for this back, make sure you are placing your pattern paper on it, because this always look the same. The center back and the side back always look the same. So make sure you place your pattern and be sure of what you are doing. Can you see the lining? I added interfacing to the edge, that is the up part only. So now this is the skirt. I went ahead to cut the lining, so it is not a full lining. So the lining is not getting down. It's not getting down. So this is what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and make the darts on the front skirt. So I'll make the darts on the lining and on the main bodies. So this is the back. So I'll go ahead and just join, and you will see what I did. So this is the front. I've went ahead to join. So this is what I did. So I layered this pointed part. So I layered it. So if you look at it, you see that that center front, especially the upper part, it is layered. So this is just to give it more structure. So now I'm joining the upper bodies and the skirts together. As you can see that I'm joining the main fabric alone, no lining. So make sure you align the darts legs, make sure they are aligned. So I'm trying to measure my hip, and I noticed this fabric is kind of stretchy. It's stretchy a little bit, so I will cut out the excess I have at the hip area. So now this is the back. So this is the lining for the front, this is the upper bodies lining, and this is the skirt lining. So I'll go ahead and also join them at the waist also.
So as you can see, I'm joining the lining separate, I'm joining the main fabric separate. So for the back, I've went ahead to use the lining to turn the zipper area. So this is what it looks like. So I've used the lining to turn the zipper area. So I'll just join them by the waist like this. So I'll join the lining, I'll join the fabric, and I'll join the lining. So this is how I'll just join them straight down. So the sewing will be inside. I want all the sewing should be inside. So this is the other part, also the other side, and I'll also join them like I did for the first part. So this is how it is. Just open it up like this. So you join them at the waist area. Make sure they are aligning at the center, the lining and the fabric. Make sure they are aligning. Then you join them together. So after joining the front body, so you will attach the side of the back to the side of the front, just the main fabric alone at first. So make sure the waist area are aligning. You know, there's a joining at the waist area. Make sure it is aligning. So this is the other side. So I'll also go ahead and sew. Then I'll also join the lining. So what I did was I was joining the lining separate and I joined the main fabric separate. So if this is confusing, you can just join the way you want. I don't want my joining to be showing, so that's why I'm doing all this. I don't know the best way I can explain this. So what I did was to join the lining and the fabric. So this is the side back and the side front. So I'm joining them. I will join them from the armhole down to the edge of the skirt. And for the other side also, I will do the same. As you can see that I'm taking my time to pin this and making sure the waists of the back and the front are aligned. Since they are the same thing, so they must align. So and I'm also pinning so that when I'm sewing, I'm not just I'm sewing what is right. So now after pinning that side, I'll also do the same for the lining. So the side of the lining and the side front of the lining and the side back of the lining, I'll also pin them together and I'll also join. So I'll also do the same for the other side. Please, if this is confusing, you can just join this the way you understand best, please. The essence of all this I'm doing is that I don't want the joining to show at all. So when you flip the dress, you won't see any joining there. So after doing everything, so this is what you will have. So the next thing I will now do is to join this together at the neckline, at this edge here. So you know there's no neckline, so this edge here I'll just go ahead and join. So I'll join from the back to the front to the back. Sure you get. So if you use accurate measurement, everything will align. As you can see, everything is aligning. Both the lining and the fabric, they are the same thing. So you go ahead and just sew with ½ inch all round like that. If you are not sure of your client's measurement or your measurement, you may not use this method, because after using this method to adjust this dress will be a problem. So if you are not sure, please don't use this method. So I will hem the lower part also. So after joining, this is what I have. I also top stitch at the edge. So I top stitch towards the lining so that the lining will not be showing at the front. So this is what it looks like. So after the joining and everything, so the next thing I will do now is to join the zipper area. So I'll measure about 9 inches from the waist downward for the zipper. So I'll measure about 9 inches downward. Then you know we've not where the slits will start from when we're cutting the fabric. So the slits, you join it up to where the slits will start from. So that's what you will do. So I measured 9 inches from the waist downward. Make sure the waist area here is aligned. Align everything because the measurements are the same. So I'm just putting a pin there and I've went ahead to join it. So this is where the slit is starting from. So this is where my slit is starting from, and that's the zipper area. So the place I joined was not even much. I think about 10 inches or so. I'm not sure. So now the next thing I will do is to fix the zipper at the back. So I will go ahead and fix this zipper. So after fixing the zipper, this is what it looks like, and this is perfect. So at this point, before you go ahead and bead, it will be nice if you can ask your client to fit it first. But me, I went ahead to do the beading and everything because I was sure of what I was doing. So you can fit it first before you bead, because when you bead, to amend will be a problem, especially the side. So this is what the dress looks like without beading. So after I was done beading, this is what it looks like. So I will drop a detailed tutorial on how to go about this beading. So if you want the tutorial, let me know in the comment section, and the video will be the next video I will upload. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't liked this video, please like this video, drop a lovely comment for me in the comment section, subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and I will see you in the beading video. Bye.